The client asked me to create a sculpture that would honor the spirit of the ranch. So we met at the site and we chose one that comes off a hillside such that the resultant piece would be skylined against the Colorado heavens. Then we had to choose what the material would be. The whole ranch backs up against the Forest Service, and Red Canyon snakes up into the hills behind the ranch. And this Red Canyon has huge, beautiful rock slabs, and the lifeblood of the ranch from the high country is the water that comes down and feeds the entire ranch. So given the artery of that rock and water and ranch and grass and sky, of course I chose stone. The idea of playful stones to make a sculpture that represented ranch life came to my mind. While sketching these dancing stones, I thought about the ranch and how it works. The ranch hands are irrigators, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, veterinarians, breeders, horse trainers, and mechanics. So the sculpture wanted to grow out of the earth, involve all these disciplines that have to fit together like a puzzle, dance across the living sky, and anchor back into the earth. That's why it became an arch. And I presented this idea and a model of it and drawings of it to the ranch owner, and he said, let's go. I just want it done out of tan granite rather than the red stone on the ranch. The stone is light in color. It has a texture and a feel that wants to dance. It wants to be out of the ground. It wants to be solid, but it wants to play. So I discovered that the only tan granite comes from China, and I was put in touch with the Rhodes Architectural Stone in the state of Washington, and they managed to get me in contact with an outfit in China that could actually make the sculpture. I stayed in China for 3 weeks, and they had actually made all the pieces before I got there. But they hadn't done what was necessary, which was to drill holes through each piece so that one piece could be attached to the next one and attached to the next one all the way around. It was very complicated. And the wonderful old man that did the drilling only had a drill bit that could go 2.5 feet, and some of the pieces were 4.5 feet. So I had to engineer a way to have the drill stay level and straight so that the two holes would meet in the middle, and that was quite complicated. I stayed in a hotel, a very nice hotel, and I was picked up by the head of the outfit every morning at 6:45 and driven for 35 minutes to the factory outside the new city of Xiamen. And there we went to work in a very noisy, very productive factory. We fit it together on the floor in the factory. And once we knew that all the lines, the holes lined up to put it together when it got back here, it was all taken apart, and each piece was crated very carefully and very well, and then it was shipped from Xiamen, China, to the port in Seattle, and then it went from the port in Seattle to Denver, and then from Denver to the ranch in Aspen. It took a month to assemble the whole thing, and each piece had to be fitted, tensioned, glued, and attached to the one before it. And each piece, that took 2 days to do each one. And there are 11 pieces, so it took quite a while to go all the way around. The ranch hands used their considerable talents to help me fit all the pieces together. I couldn't have done it without them. It was necessary to hire an outfit called KL&A, which is an engineering firm in Golden, and they did a very excellent job of figuring out how to take all the pieces when they're laying down, fit them together and hold them together in such a way that when it was brought up vertically, it wouldn't fall apart. A month before we set the piece up, we had to dig holes and pour a foundation as per the engineered drawings to hold each end of the sculpture in the ground. We have very small earthquakes around here that you don't really feel, but they do move foundations. So a foundation had to be done to hold the piece together after it was put up. There were plates at the bottom of each end of the stone arch that had to be adjusted so that they fit perfectly to the bottom of each end of the stone. It took 2 cranes to pick it up and put it on a trailer to move it down to the site, which was only 400 yards away. And then the 2 cranes had to reposition themselves and slowly, with very, very accurately attached straps, pick it up and move it from horizontal to vertical, and then one crane let go and the second crane swung it over onto the hillside and let it down. The total weight of the sculpture, without its sandwich of steel and wood and plywood on the sides, is about 19,000 pounds. It was a very wonderful day. I believed in the process, I believed in the engineering, I believed in the stone, I believed in the fact that once we had it, in a sense, together and in place, it actually was going to hold itself forever. It was just the picking it up from being sideways to being vertical. That was the tension, and that's where all the steel and the wood and the beams were for. But as an arch, it was going to work. What led me to placing the arch over the fence was the playful attitude of the arch coming out of the ground and jumping over the fence and coming down again just seemed appropriate to the overall smile of that particular property. It's wonderful to be given challenges. And the challenges ignite one's inspiration. But it's a slow process, and it's a wonderful process, and I enjoy it deeply.